Hello, English 431 people, all 10 of you, 8 of you now. How are you? At the end of the semester, it's so interesting because the time that we professors ask people to reflect on their learning is the time that it seems like we're all done with learning, done with thinking, not in tune with the flow of the semester, ready to be done, ready to be not thinking, ready to be not reflecting, not having the time to reflect. So it may seem odd that I'm going to be reflective during this video and ask you to be reflective in your reflections. Here it is at the end of the semester. English 431 has been interesting, to say the least. In the midst of a pandemic that has cost almost 600,000 American lives and still is ravaging all kinds of countries all around the world, we're starting to get a little bit of stuff under control, but things are still bad nationwide. We're coming out of the pandemic. Some people have gotten vaccinated. That's good. There's some vaccine hesitancy. That's bad. And the downstream effects of people's PTSD having to deal with this year of economic insecurity or job loss or family sickness or other kinds of things, illness, we may never get a handle on. What I can say is, in the midst of it, I feel like I've learned a lot about 431 and about you all. And I'd say that the two places that I've really learned something about you all was Perusall this semester, where you all were really doing an amazing job responding to what you read, reacting to it, giving your free and unfettered thoughts about issues related to teaching, learning to write, learning to mentor or tutor, and so on. You were linking those articles together in a way I couldn't have been prouder of. And I love jumping into those conversations because they were a free and unfettered space. Right? I legitimately enjoyed the time that I spent with you all in Perusall. Now, the other thing that I'd say that I've learned is I learned about you through your writing, like I do most semesters. But of course, without that face-to-face component, I was deriving my sense of you all as learners, as scholars, as teachers, future teachers, and tutors from the kinds of things that you said in your papers. And I enjoyed talking to you there, although my work there was a little bit different because I was asking you to revise in some cases, and I was trying to give you grades and other kinds of things. So I felt I had several different kinds of hats on. So that's in the midst of a kind of an asynchronous semester where I was just trying to figure out how to keep my head above water. And I'm sure you all were too. You all did some incredible work being human in an inhumane environment. And what do I mean by that? Just having no face-to-face time, being separated like we were, having to Zoom from strange locations in your house or your parents' house, and so on. Now it's your turn to reflect. Your final thing to do in this course is, of course, a reflection. It's a course reflection, I could say. And what do I mean by a course reflection? And what do I mean by reflection? I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to share my screen with you. So when we look at the schedule right here, you'll see that we're really down to it. It's on like Donkey Kong, as they used to say. We are in a reflection and revision mode. And now what do I mean by that? What do I mean? I want you to look back at the kinds of things that you have done. And I want you to look forward to the kinds of teaching or tutoring of writing that you might do in the future. Let me show you the assignment. I'm sorry it's taking so long to load. And while it's loading, since I'm out in the yard, I'll just show you a couple things. You see over my shoulder, this shoulder is golf disc golf, goal, the chains of disc golf. I like to play disc golf, but I've just busted up my knee, so I'm not going to play disc golf for a little bit. So, gosh, everything's slow out here, and I apologize for that. This makes for a horrible video, doesn't it? Here we are toward the end of this assignments page. And what I've done is I've given you, you know nothing, John Snow. I've given you a little bit of stuff to think about here. We are going to take a moment at the end of this course. And in fact, we have been taking several moments. Several weeks of the course here at the end of the semester have been designed to get you thinking about what you feel you've learned. So, and again, we have several sources or inputs for that work. It didn't just happen in Perusall. It didn't just happen in your Google Currents posts. It happened in your internship, specific events or moments from the internship, passing conversations with other tutors and mentors. It happened in your papers where I was asking you to learn and reflect about what happened when you went to be tutored or when you observed another group besides your own. It happened when you met with me over Zoom or readings that seemed to jump out at you and other kinds of things. When we reflect, we take stock metacognitively of what we feel we know better now that we're done. Metacognition means thinking about your own thinking. And when we target those things that we don't feel we know well, and when we target things that we feel we have a better grasp on, we are beginning to do the work of reflection. But what I hope you do in this assignment is a little more than that. That is, not just reflect back on what you've done before, but actively try to seek out some answers to some of those questions that you've ended the semester with. Why do I assume that you've got questions at the end of the semester? Because an inquiring and curious mind. And many of you will become teachers, so you're probably inquisitive about what this class holds for you in terms of your future as a writing teacher. The inquiring and inquisitive mind seeks not to foreclose avenues of exploration, but to open them up. So that's what makes this final reflective paper a little bit different than the rest. In a simple reflection assignment, you might be asked in different kinds of ways to talk about the kinds of things that you read and the kinds of things that you did and the activities and maybe the papers that you wrote and other kinds of things like that, and say, what did you learn? What did you not learn? And how happy are you? I really would rather you not focus on me because the focus of this paper should be you. And instead of ending with questions that you might have come to by the end of a very rich semester in English 431, I hope that you take the final weeks of the course and, really kind of mull them over in your mind, do a little internet digging, and come up with some ways in which you're maybe advancing on answers to your question. So what does this mean? You are reflecting by looking back, but then you're saying, okay, so if I've ended the semester on these questions, where could I go next? How might this apply to me in my life coming ahead? So what I say right here in terms of how you should talk or what format or set of conventions you can use in this paper, it's all up to you. The more informal, the better. But do please frame your reflections around flashpoints for you, questions, curiosities that you still have, things that you've learned, but things that you still want to learn. And then tell us how you might start to seek out more answers. In that way, this reflection is not just looking back, but it's looking forward. It's actually doing some of the work that I think you could do next were you to take a position in any number of the programs that we have in the English department. So that's pretty much it. What I would say in terms of this semester, as I'm just looking over the rest of the tentative schedule, is this, please be working on your final reflection. There are no more Google Currents posts. And if you've done them all, I have awarded you full credit. Then by Wednesday of next week, I would hope that you would turn in a final draft of what I know now as your reflection paper. And since there's a small number of you, to share it with me via Google. Docs. Just send me an email or use the Google Docs share button to enter my email address and share it with me that way. Remember, it's cfosen@csuchico.edu. Otherwise, I hope that you've made it through this video, which is very janky and kind of awful in the middle as my computer slowed down. But otherwise, I'm hoping you're enjoying this final week of the semester. And it's not depressing you, the amount of work you need to do in order to end successfully. I know you all will be successful in your classes, and I really hope that I can see you in the fall. I am hoping, in other words, that you continue to reflect after this class is over, as you start to work in the EOP Summer Bridge, as you do various early start efforts over the summer, and as you start to work in the ESL Resource Center, the Writing Center, in the Student Learning Center, or in our English 131 program. In effect, I would love for there to be a situation in which I run into you in the fall. I'm going to be on campus in the fall and teaching all face-to-face classes. And I hope to finally shake your hand or give you a fist bump or something like that and meet you face-to-face and talk about all the amazing work you did at 431. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to talk to you online very soon. Bye-bye.